नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं।
तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं,
तुम मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान खाते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं।
देर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं,
बेर शबरी के जैसे खिलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान सोते नहीं।
माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं,
माँ यशोदा के जैसे सुलाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्।
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं,
कौन कहते हैं भगवान नाचते नहीं।
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं,
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं,
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं,
गोपियों की तरह तुम नचाते नहीं।
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
अच्युतं केशवं कृष्ण दामोदरम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्
राम नारायणं जानकीवल्लभम्।
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे,
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे,
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे,
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे,
शारदे शारदे वाग्विलासिनी शारदे,
शारदे शारदे वाग्विलासिनी शारदे, शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे संतन वंदित शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे संकट वंदित शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे संतन वंदित शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे संकट वंदित शारदे
वीणा पाणी शारदे विद्यादायिनी शारदे
वीणा वाणी शारदे विद्यादायी शारदे
वीणा पाणी शारदे विद्यादायिनी शारदे
वीणा वाणी शारदे विद्यादायी शारदे
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे
शारदे शारदे हंसवाहिनी शारदे
वाग्विलासिनी शारदे
वाग्विलासिनी शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे
शंकर पूजित शारदे
संतन वंदित शारदे
संतन वंदित शारदे
वीणा पाणी शारदे
वीणा वाणी शारदे
विद्यादायिनी शारदे
विद्यादायी शारदे
जगदम्बा माता की जय। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुदेवाय नमः। जयंती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। हरि ओम। Okay, so if you are joining us tonight for the first time, we are seeing the Devi Mahatmyam, sometimes also called as Chandani and sometimes also called the Durga Saptashati. Same text, huh? Don't get confused with names and all. So, in this text, the glories of the Devi is mentioned. So, I told last night, philosophically, from a philosophical standpoint, we have in Sanatana Dharma one reality called as Brahman. There is only one thing in the universe. And that one thing, in gender, in Sanskrit itself, Brahman word is a neuter word. It is neither masculine nor feminine. So that Brahman can therefore manifest as masculine or as feminine. Only something which is neither can manifest as both. If it is already one, well, it's fixed. If it is already masculine, well, it's fixed. So it cannot be feminine then. So therefore, the reality is without gender, called as neuter in Sanskrit. Sanskrit has three genders, huh? You have to remember that. Masculine, feminine, neuter. And so the Brahman is neuter gender and so manifests as masculine or as feminine. So now it's the same one reality appearing as masculine and appearing as feminine. And since it is the one reality, like if you take a clump of clay here, and from this clump of clay you make a man and then you make a woman from the clump of clay. Well then what? In the end you still have the same clay on both. Isn't it? It is the same fundamental material that goes into making both. From that standpoint, both are one and same. It is just that the manifestation is different. So you have to understand this thing. So now, the Paramatma or the Brahman, which I'm calling Paramatma most of the time, that Brahman, Paramatma, in its feminine manifestation is what is being glorified in this Devi Mahatmya. Mahatmya means greatness, glory, like that. Huh? So Devi Mahatmyam, greatness and glory. Mahima. Sometimes you see the other word Mahima. Same thing. Right? So, how? Well, that Paramatma manifested several times in so many various forms, feminine forms, which we know, and we worship Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati, which are all forms of that same Paramatma, feminine forms of the same Paramatma. So now, through this Devi Mahatmyam, in these days, we'll be seeing the glories of the Devi. Now, last night where we stopped, that Madhu and Kaitava, they emerged from the air of Bhagwan, that we saw. And the first thing that they did, and we saw so many sub-points related to this in the previous days and all. Huh? The first thing that they did, what? Oh, this Brahmaji, he's sitting too quietly there in that lotus, you know. We have to finish this fellow, just by nature. So that's one more thing. In this world, everything is born with its own nature. That is another thing we saw. Like for example, a scorpion is born with a certain nature. You cannot bring a scorpion home and make him your pet. Well, let me change that statement. You can if you want. But it will not turn out too well. Correct? That will not turn out so well. Because he is born to do something. And he'll do that only. So when people bring cobras at home, first they pull out their fangs like that. Because if you don't, so that also is not good. But of course, people do that when they want to keep. So anyway, the point is, all things are born with their own nature. Like that. Sat karma janyam. In the Tattva Bodha, Bhagavan Shankaracharya tells, it's all because of karmas of the past lives and all. We are born with a certain nature. Right. So Madhukaitava, they are born now, and the first thing they could ever think about is, let us kill this Brahmaji. So now Brahmaji worshipped the feminine aspect of Paramatma, and the feminine aspect of the Lord manifested there, the Devi, Durga, right? And now, Brahmaji told a nice thing, because Bhagavan Vishnu, when the feminine aspect manifested, Bhagavan Vishnu woke up. And when he woke up, he had a big fight with his Madhu and Kaitava. And that fight we saw last night went on for a very long time. Like 5,000 years they fought like that. So, in the end now, Brahmaji whispered to the Devi, "Oh Devi, this Madhu, Kaitava, they are fighting relentlessly, they are going on and on and on. This fight is going on for 5,000 years, you know. You do something to the Devi." Brahmaji told, "You do something for this thing to get over." Well, the interesting thing, which the Devi does now, this is in number 94, for those of you who have it. Ambe Jagadambe,
Jai 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 Ambe Jagadambe Jayambe Jagadambe Jayambe Jagadambe Jayambe Jagadambe
Jagadamba Mata ki jai. Now you have to think also, see, if I have just emerged, I am just coming out from the air of Bhagwan, and the first thought that comes in my mind is, this Brahmaji who is sitting here, let me kill him. Now you have to think about the nature and the swabhav of that person who is thinking like that. It means the first thing that comes out is not good. The first thing that comes out is evil. It is to cause pain, to cause death, to cause something to somebody else. So it means that there is really, you're not really going to find any good guna inside that person. And if you look a little bit deeper, just analyze that, you will see. You look a little bit deeper, you will realize that there is, in both of them, we should live, you should die. We should stay, you should. We have a right to live, you don't have a right to live. Now that is pure evil or not? And little bit deeper now, that means to say, the ego here is so strong that he feels that I have a right to live and you don't have a right to live. So that's so some ego is somewhere down there. So now, Brahmaji whispers to the Devi, "Oh Devi, please do something." Because Bhagavan has been fighting with these two for the last 5,000 years and nothing has happened. So the Devi strikes right where that problem is there, inside. And where is the problem? See, the line says, Tau api atibala unmattau mahamaya vimohitau. With her great maya, she deluded the two of them. She deluded the two. Bhagavan Sri Ram deluded people in Ramayana also. In Ramayana, no, it means to say this is not uncommon. In Ramayana, you remember when Shurpanakha came and there she made overtures to Bhagwan Ram, and that thing did not end up so well, and Lakshmana cut off her nose, and yes, you all remember that. And she went to Ravan. First, before going to Ravan, she went to Kharadushan. Before going to Ravan, she went to Kharadushan. I don't know if you remember that part. And Kharadushan came there with their whole army, big army, and they attacked this Rama Lakshmana. And Rama finished the whole army of Kharadushan. That time, you know what Bhagwan Ram did? Bhagwan Ram made every Rakshasa who was fighting him, he deluded them and made them see Ram in the other Rakshasa. So this Rakshasa is seeing, hey, this is Ram, kill him. So they all killed them? Yes. And also they all got mukti also. Because they died thinking of Ram. But he deluded them and they all killed each other. You have to go back in Ramayana and see that. Anyway, I would have told that here before, maybe you forgot. But because we did Ramayana for many years, you know. Here now, the Devi deluded the two of them. And where she chose to delude two of them. How? Two of them had such big ego, the ego which makes the person feel, I have a right to live and you don't have a right to live. So the two of them had such big ego, so what she did, she made them feel, oh, we are so great. In any case, they were feeling that in any case, Brahmaji is nothing, we'll kill him. They were feeling like that only. So, they felt even more great now, and even though they could not defeat Bhagwan Vishnu for 5,000 years, this is 2 against 1, eh? 2 against 1, and they still could not defeat Bhagwan Vishnu. Of course, Bhagwan Vishnu was only playing with them like that only for 5,000 years. He also has to get something to play with, huh? So, they felt that they were so great that they are greater than this Bhagwan Vishnu also. So they stopped now after 5,000 years. They stopped. They said, "Oh, we are so pleased with you. You fought for 5,000 years and you did it valorously also, and with bravery and all that. We are so pleased with you. Ask for a boon." So she deluded them into thinking they are more great than they. Of course they were already thinking that they were so great. Now they told Bhagwan, "You ask for a boon." Bhagwan said, "Okay." Now see, Bhagwan humble also in his humility. He said, "Oh, thank you. I will ask for a boon." So what is Bhagwan's boon? Bhagwan says, my boon I am asking for is both of you should be slain by me. So they already granted a boon, now Bhagwan asked now. It means their own ego now turned on them. Because Bhagwan said, my boon is both of you should be slain by me. So now they came with a counter, what is that? Condition, counter condition. Okay, we'll grant your boon. Now, because they already gave word, we will grant the boon. We'll grant your boon. But you kill us where there is no water. And what I don't know if I had mentioned to you, but this episode is happening when there was pralay, and that pralay in that epoch, in that era, had happened by water only. Pralay happens, they say, in the scriptures, sometimes by water and sometimes by fire. One deluge of, fire like that, and it burns everything like that. Or pralay will also happen by water, sometimes everything just gets washed away, like that. So that time it happened by water, and so there was water everywhere. And remember, Bhagwan Vishnu was also there on Milky Ocean also. So either there is water, there is whatever is around, liquid. You kill us where there is no water. Well, Bhagwan looked around, there is water everywhere. So their counter condition was like that. Then, you remember Hiranyakashipu? Hiranyakashipu said, I want a boon where I will not be killed inside, nor outside. I will not be killed up, not down, not nighttime, not daytime, not by man, nor by animal, like that. Well, all the Rakshasas choose boons like that, and they feel that those boons which they have chosen, that it will make them invincible. Correct or not? Yeah. But I want to tell you something about this universe. This universe is infinite, and this universe has infinite possibilities also. So if anybody makes any choice thinking that I will escape, you please remember there are infinite possibilities. Anything is possible in this universe. Huh? We should never ever exclude any possibility. The Lord can find a way to show how that thing which you think is impossible, the Lord can find a way to make sure that you see that that also is possible. So now you kill us where there is no water. So Bhagavan said, okay. He caught the two of them and he put them on his lap. But there is no water on my lap, it's dry, He caught the two of them and put them on his lap. And they already granted the boon. That both of them will be slain by him. And he removed, what a simple way to remove the two of them. So, both Madhu Kaithav were removed. Now I want to tell you. You see this verse from Bhagavad Gita. I want to tell you this shloka. You all know it also. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna,
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna,
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna,
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna.
Samutthena.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna.
Dvandva mohena bharata.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna.
Sarva bhutani sammoham.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna.
Sarge yanti parantapa.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hare Krishna.
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 Krishna Kanaya Lal ki jai. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata. And then the next line says Sarge yanti parantapa. This is the operative line. Sarge means from the very beginning itself. When every jiva emerges in this universe, means from birth, effectively from birth. From birth, all of us have raga, dvesha. So now the first thing to emerge from the air of Bhagwan Vishnu, when he was sleeping there, the first thing to emerge is this Madhu Kaitab. And this Bhagavad Gita verse is saying, we are all born with raga, dvesha, ichha dvesha here it's called, raga dvesha viyukta is two, and so many places the phrase comes like that, raga dvesha. Here the phrase ichha dvesha, which is the same thing. Yeah? So, we are born with this raga dvesha. In other words, all of us are born with these two madhu, kaitab in our heart. Likes and dislikes. And it is this likes and dislikes which causes all trouble for this human being. Which causes him to die as a jiva and again take birth, and die as a jiva again and again take, and not jivan mukta. Not die as a jivan mukta, but to only die as a jiva. So, this raga dvesha's duty is to do what? To make us die as a, just as their work now is to kill this Brahmaji. It make us all die like a jiva, not as a jivan mukta. Die with likes and dislikes. And we carry our likes and dislikes all the way down to the grave. Like this. So when I die, don't bury me in this cheap coffin, you know. Bury me in this expensive coffin. He tells the undertaker, bury me in this expensive coffin. His likes and dislikes is going all the way down to the grave, you know. So the undertaker says, yes, sir. If you will be more comfortable in this one, we will bury you in this one. No problem. Like that. And one fellow was passing by the cemetery in the night time, and he heard hammer and chisel. Chip, 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 chip in the night. In the cemetery. So he thought, curious thing, middle of the night, why hammer and chisel is going on, you know? It was coming from behind some graves. So he walked around there to check. So there was a man chipping with a hammer and chisel on a tombstone. So he said, what happened this hour of the night? You're chipping on a tombstone? Yes, man. They spelled my name wrong. I came out to fix it, you know. Came out to fix it. So he doesn't like also that my name is spelled wrong. Yes, I have to fix that. But likes and dislikes are the root of a whole range of human problems. Everything really is connected to likes and dislikes. So what we say? We should say, I have preferences. I have a preference for this, or I have a preference for that. But when a preference becomes likes and dislikes, well, and I tell you one more thing. There is absolutely no rationale behind likes and dislikes. Zero rationale. It is just that I like it. Rationale means when you ask why. Like this person likes vanilla ice cream and this person likes chocolate ice cream. So if you start, you just say, okay, first, this is a like and this is a dislike. He dislikes vanilla and he dislikes chocolate. And he likes vanilla and he likes chocolate, right? Like that. But if you start asking why, there is nobody in the universe who could explain why. And no matter how much you try. So now see, likes and dislikes have absolutely no logic, no rational, no logical thinking, nothing. Huh? It is just, I like it. So something which is totally devoid of rationale, which is totally devoid of logic, that means that thing escapes the human intellect, because the human intellect is the place where rationality and logic is there. That thing has evaded the intellect. And anything in this universe which has evaded the intellect should be suspect. It should be suspect. It means to say, as a human being, it is incumbent on every human being to apply logic and rationality to whatever he does. It is only the animal kingdom that doesn't have a rational faculty to apply. But a human being has a rational faculty. So now, likes and dislikes, and if you ask, now, see like this. Madhukaitsa came there. Let us kill Brahmaji. Now what is the logic? Nothing. Brahmaji has not said a word to them. You know, look, this fellow looked killable, you know. So this is likes and dislikes. So this Madhukaitsa is this like and dislike which are born with us, we come with it. Sargayanti, from birth. And this thing has to be removed. Therefore, you see in the Sthita Prajna Lakshana, the one who has given up this likes and dislikes, he is described there. One who has gone beyond likes and dislikes. Indriyani, Vishayan, Indriyais Charan. His senses are going among all the objects in the world, but he is not disturbed by any of them, likes and dislikes. So the Bhagavad Gita Bhagavan talks over and over about renouncing these likes and dislikes. Like I said, we are not saying that you live like a dead human being, you know. We say, yes, I prefer this one over this one. But you know, if this one is not there, then it's okay. People feel like my life has ended. What I like, if it is not there, my life has ended. No, that kind of strong likes and dislikes is what causes this punarapi jananam, punarapi. But a fellow could never leave his jivahood, because that is the definition of jivahood. To become jivan mukta, you see. So we have to get rid. So the beginning here now, in the Devi Mahatmyam, this Madhukaitha comes likes and the raga, dvesha. Very powerful lesson to start with, you know. All right, now Brahmaji, and of course Brahmaji now is saved by Bhagavan Vishnu, so he praises the Lord in so many long verses and all. Thank you, Bhagavan. And the chapter ends with that now. Then another story starts in the next chapter. But this is everybody's favorite story. This is the great Mahishasura, and where the Mahishasura Mardini Stotram and all that is composed on this important story from this Devi Mahatmyam. So in verse number 3 of the second chapter, next chapter, Jai Ambe Jagadambe,
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 Jai Ambe Jagadambe. च सकलान् देवान्
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
इन्द्रभून्महिषासुरः
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
गतपराजिता देवा
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
पद्मयोनिं प्रजापतिम्
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
पुरस्कृत्य गतास्तत्र
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
यत्रेष गरुडध्वजौ
जय अम्बे जगदम्बे
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 जगदम्बा माता की जय तत्र असुरैः महावीर्यैः देवसैन्यं पराजितम्. At one time this Mahishasura rose. The story goes, of course, let me tell, somebody was asking this on one of the previous days. They said something called as Devi Bhagavatam. This has come from the Markandeya Purana. This Devi Mahatmyam, which is only 700 verses, has come from the Markandeya Purana. I told on the first day. And then there is Bhagavatam, and then there's all the different Puranas, but there is something called as Devi Bhagavatam. Big text, huge text. So that has all the elaborate stories, So in this Devi Mahatmyam is getting to the story very fast because only 700 verses and all of these stories have to be told in those 700 verses. So right in the beginning of the chapter itself, in brief, it goes straight into the story. What was that? There was a big fight. The Devas and the Asuras got into a big fight. And the Devas were, of course, always ruled by Indra, but the Asuras at that time, they were ruled by the great Mahishasura. He was the king of the Asuras at the time. So there was a big fight between the two. And then what happened? Well, Mahishasura was able to muster up a huge army and they routed these devatas like anything. All of them got thrown out, kicked out of Swarga and all that. And Mahishasura now, he sat on Indra's. Those of you who don't know the cosmology of Sanatana Dharma, there are different lokas in this, countless lokas. Ananta Koti Brahmanda. This is a Sanskrit word. Ananta Koti Brahmanda means countless universes. Now science is discovering all of it. Like we have trillions of galaxies and all that, right? And it will be real foolhardy, or it will be conceit for us to think that we are the only ones in this universe. So anyway, Ananta Koti Brahmanda, so very countless. So one of the loka which is close to us is called as Swarga Loka. That doesn't mean it's the only loka. Swarga Loka is very close to us. So people who do good karma here, they go to enjoy all the results of their good karma in Swarga Loka. So the king of that Swarga Loka, his name is Indra. So now the Asuras, they went there and they beat out this Indra and all of them and chased them out. And Mahishasura was their king. So he sat on this throne. He became the Indra now. Like that. Because whoever is sitting on this throne, he's president, Isn't it? Whoever is sitting on that seat, he becomes. That is presidential seat. So he became the Indra, like that. And, very interestingly. So the Devas now, they became dispossessed and what we call in Trinidad language, they call as vagrants. Vagrants means they roaming on the streets, homeless. Here is called homeless. Right? In Canada, I think it's called homeless. So they became homeless, roaming everywhere. And then they thought, now, look, we better go and seek the assistance and blessings of Bhagwan Brahmaji. So they went to Brahmaji and they did supplication. And Brahmaji said, okay, theek hai, chalo, you come with me now. We'll all go to Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Shiva. So they went there to ask me, please do something, These Mahishasur and all his people and all, they have come and they have taken over. Brahmaji speaking on their behalf, Bhagwan Vishnu listening, and Bhagwan Shiva, then he's listening also. But what is very interesting is the next. I want you to see.
Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Surendrajnam
Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Yamasya Varunasya cha
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Anyesham Chadikaransa
Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Swayamevati Tishtati
Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe Jai Ambe Jagadambe
Jagadamba Mata ki Jai. So the first thing they report to Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Shiva, the first thing the devatas report is what Mahishasura actually did. And this is the interesting thing. This verse. Mahishasura assumed the seat of Indra like this. He sat on the throne. And Bhagwan Indra is the king, and then he has different ministries, different portfolios, and like this one, Kuber is the Minister of Finance, and Varuna is the Minister of Public Utilities and all that kind of thing. Like they have like that, right? Varuna sees about water, Agni sees about fire, Pavan sees about wind, and he is the king, but they have different devatas who are responsible for different portfolio and different aspects of the universe and all that kind of thing. That is how it is usually. What is interesting here, Mahishasura sat on that throne and he says, Surya, Indra, Agni, Anila, every portfolio he took. Varunasya, Yamas, he became Yama also. I am Yama from today. So it is all mentioned here. So he took every power in his hands. And what is interesting about these type of dictators and all, they are surrounded by yes men also. Isn't it? Mahishasura is surrounded by all his yes men now. He took all the portfolio. But I want to tell you one more thing. This is something which recurs in the Shastras and is very interesting. The Jiva, you see, Bhagavan Ram is telling to Tara in Kishkinda Khan, Jiva Nitya. Jiva Nitya. The Jiva is eternal. You know that. We say. Bhagavan Krishna is also telling to Arjuna, there is never a time when I was not there, nor you, nor any of these kings. We have always been there. We are eternal. Nitya means eternal. So Jiva Nitya. So the Jiva is eternal, and I tell you, the Jiva being eternal means he is part and parcel of an eternal being that is Purna, complete, total, full. He is part and parcel of an infinite being, because eternal means all of these things also. infinite, full, complete, total, deathless, like that the jiva is. But what the jiva is in a dreamland, you and I, being in a dreamland of jivahood, feeling that we are finite, not eternal, feeling that we will die one day, feeling that we are limited, powerless, lacking in knowledge. We are feeling experiencing all of this dream. But really speaking, the jiva is infinite, eternal, limitless, and all of that. All the qualities of Paramatma, because jiva and Ishvara are one and same in Vedanta. So now, the jiva is living in this world, but at the back of his mind, he is hearing a constant tanpura playing of infinitude. At the back of his mind, he is hearing a constant tanpura. You know what the tanpura plays at the back of the music on the stage? Everything will go on here, but that tanpura, same hum. So the jiva is hearing behind his mind a constant tanpura of infinitude, of eternity, of limitlessness, of totality, of purnatvam, fullness and all that. But he cannot really figure out that hum which he is hearing behind, which is really part of his own nature. And therefore, because his senses are turned outside, he is looking for this eternity and infinitude and fullness and totality. He is looking for all of it outside. And you will see now, I'll show you what he does in this misplacement of the thing which he is looking for. When he is looking for wealth outside, he wants all wealth. So there is no person, you come today and you give him 1 million. Today you come and you give him 1 million. You say, look, I have a spare million, take this. There is no person who will say no. Not only that, the next day you come back and you tell, no, I had missed 1 million. There was 1 more million in my cupboard, I brought another million for you, please have it. This fellow will never say, no, I got 1 million yesterday, You can take it and give it to my neighbor. He doesn't have anything, Nobody will say. So no matter how much wealth you give this man, that is why you have people. And as soon as somebody becomes number one in Forbes, the other fellow wants to pass him, So he gets millions and billions and trillions and still he is not satisfied, because he has the hum going on behind his head of infinitude, of limitlessness. So wealth is not enough for him. So in this case now, the second thing, because the 3 Ashanas are there. What is that? Lokeshana, Vitteshana and Putreshana. So there is no end in these Ashanas for this man. So in this case of Mahishasura now, what he got? He got power. That is called Lokeshana. So he got the power. So no amount of power is enough for anybody who has gotten power. They want absolute power. If they can control the whole, and actually there are nations that are controlling the whole world, you know that. They do everything to control the whole world. And this thing has even come in the cartoons, There's one fellow called Pinky, and he has a sidekick called the Brain. Pinky and the Brain, they want to take over the whole. So at the end of the day, Pinky, the Brain will, which one is Pinky now? Pinky will ask the Brain. Pinky will ask, so what are we going to do tomorrow? He said, the same thing which we did today. We'll try to take over the whole world, like that. So any guna, any thing that this fellow possesses or acquires from this world, he wants all of it. He doesn't want, because he has that constant hum of infinitude behind him, like that. So now he got this power. So instead of now sharing the power with the other asuras, okay, you take this department, you take that department, like how Indra does and all. He took everything. Well, not only did he take everything now, he started thinking that, oh, this loka is resting in peace, and that loka is resting in peace, and now he started taking every loka. So he took all power here and started taking power everywhere. And now the devatas, here it is said that they were roaming the earth, homeless. So they came here, because perhaps this is the next best thing, I think. So they came here and they were roaming homeless. So now Brahmaji and Bhagwan Shiva, they listened well. And this is a most wonderful portion of the Devi Mahatmyam, Devi Bhagavat also, where from the face of Bhagwan Vishnu and from the face of Bhagwan Shiva and from the face of all the devatas who had gathered, Brahmaji and everybody, and Brahmaji lucky has 4 faces. From all of their faces, light came out. Tej, Jyoti came out. And all that light concentrated in one spot. And from that one spot was born this Devi. This description is an elaborate description. And they bestowed on the Devi now all the various types of paraphernalia and sword and trishul and everything, kamandal, and they gave all things to her and equipped her. Because Brahmaji, Bhagwan Vishnu and Lord Shiva, they got angry also, hearing that, this Mahishasura has gone there and taken over the whole Swarga and taken all the portfolios to himself and all that. And see, that also, if you have the person who is supposed to do the work of Yama, right? Yama is Punyavan. To get that position of Yama, you have to be Punyavan. And Punyavan is the one who will exercise his power properly. Like this man, it is time for him to go. So when Yama comes, Yama will say, my dear, it is time to go now, what to do? You have to come. And then that fellow will say, no, I have a room full of gold, you'll take it. Then Yama will say, no, I don't take bribes, I came for you, I did not come for gold. I have enough gold in Yamalok, like that. So he'll take him. But now, if you put a corrupt person in that position of Yama, right, and he comes for this fellow, and this fellow says, I know you're a very powerful person, your name is Mahishasur. You're very powerful, and I can offer you something, I will do some spying for you. What about that? I will spy for you. Then Mahishasur says, okay. All right, I'll give you some more time. So in other words, there will be anarth, there will be adharma, everything will go upside down when you put the wrong person in that. So Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Shiva, hearing this Mahishasura has taken over, they got angry like that, and from their faces emerged this Jyoti and concentrated in one spot, like I said, and then from that light of all the devatas, all of them was born this Devi, and she was also now blessed with paraphernalia and arms and trishul and sword and everything from all of the devatas and all. And the description here is just tremendous. They do it very nice in cartoons and films and all, because when she walked, she also came with that Somnandi. You know Somnandi? She also manifested as Somnandi is her lion. Her lion's name is Somnandi. So, and when she manifested there and walked, the earth trembled under her feet, like that. And the movement of the lion also caused the whole atmosphere to stir. That tremendous appearance, the Devi's appearance in the Devi Mahatmyam, and the whole universe started stirring. What is this? Who has born? Who has come? What is going on in the world? And this thing reached even Swargalok now, where Mahishasura is sitting on that throne, and he's thinking, why the whole universe is shaking? What is going on? Because the Devi appeared with such a tremendous force. All lokas got stirred. And he thought, let us go and see. And he also came to see what was going on. And there he saw this Devi and thought, oh. And somebody told, she's born to remove you. Devi is born to remove you only. He said, what? No, he such a vast army who was able to. Now Indra and Agni and Vayu, they are not any ordinary being. To conquer them, you cannot be any ordinary being. So Mahishasura was not any ordinary being also. Like that. And so, Mahishasura sent all his people, one by one they are now to fight with the Devi to remove her. And the fighting, well, a lot of big fighting is going on here. Everybody tells that Sanatana Dharma is a religion of ahimsa. Right? Everybody thinks Sanatana Dharma teaches ahimsa and there's no fighting and all of that kind of thing in Sanatana Dharma. But I tell you, in every scripture, Bhagavad Gita is set in the midst of fighting only. Mahabharata is all fighting. Ramayana is all fighting. Now you come to the Devi also. It is all fighting like anything. It is very, very ironic that the one which has the religion which has the most fighting, the people fight the least. It's a very interesting thing. So anyway, when this whole fighting business starts, people have this question all the time. So let me also deal with that as we are going along, because I think it came up here also. Look, Sanatana Dharma does not say that we should go and fight with anybody. This is the first thing, right? Nobody should go and fight with anybody. But Sanatana Dharma tells that if somebody comes to slay you, you cannot just stand there and say, okay, slay me, what to do? It's okay. Because my religion tells me that I should practice ahimsa, So I cannot do you anything. I cannot do anything to you, you slay me. That is not taught anywhere in Sanatana Dharma. There's one more thing. Second thing. When the law is broken, somebody has to uphold the law. So now you see, Bali had not attacked Bhagwan Ram. Bali did not attack Bhagwan Ram, isn't it? But Bali had broken the law. Bali had committed a capital crime of the time. Capital crime. So when the law is broken, if there is not somebody to uphold the law and enforce the law, which requires violence, because enforcing the law will most probably require or entail violence. So if there is nobody to uphold the law and to enforce the law, then again that is tantamount to having the law breakers bring an onslaught on the society, just like a person brings an onslaught on you, on an individual. Because the scripture says, if somebody attacks you, you have a right to defend, right? Which may require an attack. Well, the same thing for the society. If somebody is perpetrating an onslaught on the society itself, there has to be somebody who has to enforce law. So Bali did not attack Bhagwan Ram, but Bali committed a capital crime. And if Bali is allowed to continue in his crime spree, what will happen to the whole society? So somebody has to be there. So you remove Bali. So nowhere it teaches, no, let people do what they want, let them attack me, let them attack the society, let them break the law, let them commit capital crime, and then we sit and watch. Nowhere it teaches that. But somehow we do that. So, here, when the Bhagwan Shiva and Bhagwan Vishnu and all heard that this Mahishasura has done this thing, he has actually turned the whole cosmos upside down. So we have to do something. See, he has not attacked Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Shiva. They are okay. But they have to do something about it. Like that. Somewhere it is said very nicely, is really the worst crime in the world is when good people sit down and do nothing. We just watch. So we have to do something like that. And so this is what the scriptures are teaching through and through, like that. So now, Mahishasura, oh, this Devi has come, she's just a woman, you know. Lady, what she'll do? Kya karegi? What she'll do? Nothing. So he went back to his throne. And he had some great asuras there with him. He told, okay, you all go and fight. I'm going home. So he went home. And so several big names are there. Chikshura. Chikshura was the first one he sent. Then there was Chamar, Udagra, and so many others, big fellows. You all go and fight, go. I will be Mahahanu. Mahahanu means with big chin. So these were all big Rakshasas and all names are given. So they came to fight the Devi. And he went home. After some serious, severe, ferocious fighting and all the terrible fighting went on, this Devi routed all these Chikshura and all of them, one by one. And then this news came back to Mahishasura himself. What? Chikshura is gone? Chamar? Chamar is big name and all we know. Chamar gone? One by one. Like she removed all of them, he couldn't believe. And of course, the story you know. The tremendous fight ensued then between Mahishasura himself and this Devi. And he brought, the description here given in detail, there came thousands and thousands of chariots and elephants and this and that, and the fight went on and on for a long time. And he said even when our Som Nandi even did his head like that, he demolished so many asuras and all, just by doing his. Even the lion was fighting like that. But the fight which went on was a tremendous fight. And in the end, she also, the fight, now just to tell you about the fight. Yesterday's last few days, all of that had happened in one chapter. Now this slaying of this Mahishasura, this is going on, chapter 2 finished, still not dead. Chapter 3 going on, still not dead, like that. Means it's going on for chapters upon chapters, it is Mahishasura fighting. Right, but eventually, that Mahishasura was brought down, and with great effort also. So now, what exactly does this Mahishasura represent? I have to tell you that in Vedanta. Now the fighting part and all you can go and read, and it's just fight. So now I'll tell you. See, we studied a little bit on one of the previous days about Brahman, Paramatma, the absolute reality. That Paramatma, with his own intrinsic power, when seen along with that own intrinsic power, he is called as Ishvara, and his intrinsic power is called as Maya, Mahamaya, Bhagavati, Devi, his own intrinsic power, not like two people, his only. And we are saying his because language has its own restrictions, limitations. Right. So, it happens like this, that Paramatma, Brahman, conditioned by his own Maya, causes or results in the manifestation of this varied universe of things, people, animals, whatever we see, human beings, and what for the living part we call as jivas. We are all jivas, right? So, the evolution of a jiva is like this. The jiva is part and parcel of this eternal Brahman, eternal reality, and this jiva is subject to the Maya, which is the power of ignorance also. So the first thing that happens for the jiva to appear is the Paramatma has to forget itself, or Paramatma has to be non-cognizant of its own self. When that happens, it mistakes itself for an limited individual being. So the absolute infinite being mistakes itself for a limited finite being. And these are the two powers of Maya. In other words, it's self-deluding. Self-deluding. Self-deluding by veiling its own nature and then taking itself to be something else. This is all a lot of deep Vedanta, I know that. If you don't get it, don't worry, sometime you'll get it. So this Paramatma, deluding itself by its own Maya power, veils itself first and then takes itself to be something else. So I am really Paramatma taking myself to be a finite being. This is what we are. We are really Paramatma taking ourselves to be a finite being. When really and truly we are not finite, we are infinite. I am what we call that, inextricably tied to every single thing in this universe. Every single thing. And this is very easy to see also. But here how it happens now. The absolute reality gets deluded. That is called as moha. That delusion, what has born is an individual I. That I is also accompanied by mind. So me and mind. Yes. So what is it? Ignorance of oneself. That ignorance causes delusion. That delusion causes the birth of me and mind. And this me and mind now causes all the other things down on the bottom here, which you hear about every day in your various circles and workplace and all. We hear about Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsara. You heard all of these words? Desire, anger, greed, and what we call arrogance, and pride, and all the various type of things, infatuation and malice, and so many things on the bottom. And this is what people every day complain about. What is that? That is called, when we experience all of this in our workplace, people come and tell me, Swamiji, my workplace is toxic. My workplace is toxic because all this desire and anger and greed and malice and pride and arrogance and all these things in the workplace every day, and backbiting and backstabbing and all the different types like that. So toxic workplace. So we are very familiar with this level. But this level of impurity, they call as mala, they're actually rooted in a higher level of impurities. That they call as me and mine, all the vikshepa. Me and mine and delusion on the top. Delusion caused by Maya, ignorance. Right? Maya and ignorance, one at this level. So they are all related. There are higher levels of impurities in the human mind. So now, in the human mind, this me and mine, they belong to another bigger category. This called here as the antakarana. All of you have heard this word also. Antakarana is made up of 4 parts. What is that? Mana, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankar. This Ahankar word is called as ego. And it is the ego, individual ego, which is really the center of the human being. Individual ego. And that individual ego, of course, has its limbs. It has an intellect to help him think, he has a mind to feel, and he has a chitta to remember things and all that kind of thing. Individual ego. Right? So that individual ego has to be really trained and taught and sanskarized in the right way according to dharma, on the basis of dharma. And if that individual ego is not trained and sanskarized and taught and everything on the basis of dharma, but it does so on the basis of adharma, well, then you get now Mahishasura. So Mahishasura is really the individual ego which has been made bereft of dharma. totally devoid of dharma. And now everything he's following is only adharma. This is individual ego which has come like that. Now, one more thing. It is very easy for all of us to divide the world into two like that, right? Either you are a deva or you are an asura. But the world doesn't work like that. The world doesn't work like that. You will have to make two lines now. All devas stand on this side. All asuras stand on this side. You think you'll be able to do that? Not possible. Because the duality of the universe is a little bit more involved than that. So, I'll tell you what the Rishi said, very nice thing. If you see in Treta Yuga, not Treta Yuga, first Yuga, Satyuga, right? In Satyuga, who was there? We say that first came that Matsya avatar, then came that Kurma avatar, then came that Varaha avatar, then came that Narasimha avatar, then that Vaman avatar. All of them came in Satyuga. Right? But do you know that when something happened, like for example, when our Hiranyakashipu happened, Hiranyakashipu, that time Prahlad was living here, Prahlad was in this loka, and Hiranyakashipu is Bhagwan Vishnu. He was in Vishnu lok only. And when he called out to Bhagwan, Bhagwan came from that lok and manifested in this khamba, right? So the what you call Asura, who is Hiranyakashipu, he was in this loka and Bhagwan Vishnu was in that loka. So the Lord came from that loka. So the good forces and the bad forces, they were in two different lokas, worlds. Then you come to the next yuga, which is Treta Yuga. Then Bhagwan Ram and Ravan, the good and the evil now, Ram and Ravan, they are in the same loka, this loka only. But they are in different countries. Because Rama is in Bharat and Ravan is in Lanka. Then you come to now Dwapar Yuga. Krishna and Kans, they are in the same family now. Isn't it? Good and evil in the same family. So you have only good in this body and evil in that body, two different bodies. And then the rishis say, now you come to our Kali Yuga. Well, they were in different bodies, good and evil, but now the good and evil is in, one place now, in Kali Yuga. So we cannot divide the world into this thing. You put a line here and you'll put all asuras on this side and all, devas on this side. That cannot happen. So what is how do we characterize our present age and the present existence? It is, we have guna and durguna in the same heart. It is only a matter of degree. It is only a matter of degree. All of us have kam, krodh, lobh, moha, matsara, ityadi, isn't it? Everybody has. So all that matters now it is a matter of degrees. Some people have more kama, some people have less kama. Some people have more anger, some people have less anger, and all of that. Not that we could say this person is devoid of any one of them. Everybody have all. So now the person who is able to lessen his kama, krodh, lobh, moha, matsara and all of that, and his mine is mama and aham, me and mine and all of that, the one who can lessen that person tends more towards deva, and the one who has more of that, he tends towards more asura. That is all. There is no such thing as any line, fine line and all that kind of thing. So now what you had here is you have Mahishasura, who is on that extreme of the spectrum, and you have the Devi who is on that extreme of the spectrum. But Mahishasura, of course, had so many people gravitated towards him and all that kind of thing. So here is the person who had strong, everything is about me, and the power is only about me, my power. I know many people when we are talking like this, because somewhere I was talking about this and they were interpreting this with present day characters on the international scene and all that kind of thing. You know? Everything is only about me and power and all that kind of thing. People like them can do that type of thing. But I'm telling, the scriptures tell these are all realistic things that we'll see in periods of history. Right? So, what is Mahishasura really? Mahishasura is the ego that holds on to not a single iota of dharma, holds on only to adharma. And with that adharma, everything is about me. All power is mine, all wealth is mine, all money is mine, everything is mine. And if I am not in the picture, then something is wrong. He wants to be in the picture 100% only. So, that Mahishasura thinks less even of the Devi also. Okay. And he doesn't think, even Ravan thought. Ravan thought, in Aranyakand, Ravan thought, hold on a minute. If this Ram has removed Kharat Dushan were equal to me in strength. If he has removed Kharat Dushan, then he cannot be any ordinary person. So now if he is Bhagwan, Ravan is thinking, if he is Bhagwan, I'll go there, and if I am slain by him, I will get mukti. And if he is not Bhagwan, I'll get the princess. Whichever way, Ravan is the first person in the whole world to teach win-win. I win this side, or I win this side. But anyway, Ravan thought, but this Mahishasura, this ego is so strong. He doesn't think, Arey, she just killed Chamar. Chakshu, she killed everybody. No, these fellas, they are nothing. I will. They're like peanuts, I will get her. Well, he came there with that type of ego. And of course, she slayed a terrible bloodbath, as we say. Bloodbath. But this is the ego. And that ego that holds on to things in the world like that, which is only concerned about me, that has to be removed by every devotee. Alright, this is Mahishasura. Now I try to speed up today because we only have how many days left, and then I only reached chapter 4 now. But we'll get somewhere. Because there are so many yet different aspects of the personality. So this is ego, Abhiman. Mahishasura. Okay. Yesterday, Raga, Dvesh. Okay. We will see then tomorrow. More interesting stories are coming. And all the parts of the personality. Remember I told you, this is avidya. That is called agyan, avidya, ignorance. Then moha, delusion. Then me and mine. Then down here, Kam, Krodh, Mada, Lobh, Moha, Matsara, Raga, Dvesh also, down at the bottom, like that. Okay. Now, we will have Aarti, and then we will conclude. There we go. Om Jai Ambe Gauri, Maya Jai Shyama Gauri, Tumko Nis Din Javat, Tumko Nis Din Javat, Hari Brahma शिवरी ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
निश दिन ध्यावत तुमको निश दिन ध्यावत हरि ब्रह्मा शिवरी ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
आंग सिंदूर विराजत टीको मृग मद को
मैया थी को मृग मद को
उज्ज्वल थे दो नैना
उज्ज्वल से दो नैना
चंद्रवदनी को
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
कनक समान कलेवर रक्तांबर मध्यो
मैया रक्तांबर राजे
रक्त पुष्प गलमाला
रक्त पुष्प गलमाला
कंठन पर साजै
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
के परिवाहन राजत खरग खपर धारी
मैया करग कपर धारी
सुर नर मुनि जन सेवक
सुर नर मुनि जन सेवक
जिनके दुख हारी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
कानन कुंडल शोभित नासाग्रे मोती
मैया नासाग्रे मोती
कोटिक चंद्र दिवाकर
कोटिक चंद्र दिवाकर
भ्रमराजत ज्योति
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
निशुंभ निशुंभ विदारे महिषासुर घाती
मैया महिषासुर घाती
धूम्र विलोचन नैना
धूम्र विलोचन नैना
धूम्र विलोचन नैना
धूम्र विलोचन नैना
इस दिन मद माती
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
चंद मुंद संहारे शोनित बीज धरे
मैया शोणित बीज हरे
मधु कह कब दो मारे
मधु कह कब दो मारे
दुर्भयहीन करे
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
ब्रह्माणी रुद्राणी तुम कमला रानी मैया
तुम कमला रानी
आगम निगम बखानी
आगम निगम बखानी
तुम शिव पटरानी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
64 योगिनी गावत नृत्य करत भैरो मैया
नित्य करत भैरो
बाजत ताल मृदंगा
बाजत ताल मृदंगा
मरु बाजत डमरू
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
तुम ही जग की माता तुम ही हो भरता
मैया तुम ही हो भरता
भक्तन की दुख हरता
भक्तन की दुख हरता
सुख संपत्ति करता
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
भुजाचार शोभित वर मुद्राधारी मैया
वर मुद्राधारी
वांछित फल पावत
मन वांछित फल पावत
सेवत नर नारी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
कंचन थाल विराजत अगर कपूर बाती मैया
अगर कपूर बाती
श्रीमाल के तुम्हें राजत
श्री स्वागत
कोटि रतन ज्योति
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
श्री अम्बा जी की आरती जो कोई नर गावे
मैया जो कोई नर गावे
कहत शिवानंद स्वामी
कहत शिवानंद स्वामी
सुख संपत्ति पावे
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
जय गौरी मैया जय श्यामा गौरी तुमको निस दिन ध्यावत तुमको निस
दिन ध्यावत
हरि ब्रह्मा शिवरी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
ओम जय अम्बे गौरी
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम बोले जगदम्बा माता की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव।